morning, everyone. This is Dick, WB2JPQ, along with this beautiful Vicky, K8VKY this morning, and Al, K8PAC, will be along at the top of the next hour. Our question is going to take us back in time a little bit. Might have to think about some of the trials and tribulations. Who remembers rabbit ears? Who remembers rabbit ears on their TV set? Sitting nicely on a couch, and your father or mother would say, "Get up and turn that just a little bit, or we've changed the channel and you have to go this direction." Oh, have we come a long way since rabbit ears? So tell us your rabbit ear story this morning. I'm sure we have some. We have Roy, number one up here from Blaisdell, New York. We have Randall. Vince from Fort Lauderdale is here. BALJ. And 3DQD. Ray from Beaver, Pennsylvania is already up on the top of the queue. Our friend Joe from Claremont is way up on the list this morning. Robert from Deltona is here. Michael, KF8EBV. Gil from Orlando's on the list. Chuck from Newcastle, Pennsylvania. ZA3YBS. Bill from Dundee. Scroll down, KB3EYR. KM7CGI. That's Larry from Arizona. He's up early this morning. We got Bill from Georgia, KI4EGQ. And David from Sacramento, California, N6QDY, already in queue here this morning. Do I have any mobiles? Who do we have mobiles? Going to play school or wherever you're going today? Call signs twice. Mobiles only, please.
Kilo Juliet 5, Golf Uniform Yankee. Kilo Juliet 5, Golf Uniform Yankee. Mobile.
KJ5 MLZ. KJ5 MLZ mobile.
And 2ZVN. And 2ZVN.
Kilo, Quebec 4, Oscar Romeo Kilo, KQ4, ORK in the mobile.
Whiskey Golf Charles, Kilo Bravo 2, Whiskey Golf Charles mobile.
W8NJT, Whiskey 8, November Juliet Tango, Echo Link Mobile.
Whiskey 5, Whiskey Lima Hotel, Whiskey 5, Whiskey Lima Hotel, mobile, in and out.
Juliet Victor, Kilo Charlie 2, November Victor.
2 Sierra Charlie Yankee and 2 STY mobile, in and out, please.
KF8 EXL, KF8 EXL, in and out.
Kilo 1, Mike Charlie Oscar, K1 MCO, Orlando Station, in and out. Good morning.
November 7, Uniform Lima Charlie, M7ULC. Good morning.
Golf 5, Uniform Foxtrot Romeo, KG5, UFR.
All you guys that are coming in here at the bottom, you're all mobile. I only want mobiles. I got KG5 UFR, 7ULC. We got Jay from Orlando, kind of disappointed he didn't want to talk to me, Jay, but that's okay. KF8EXL. And to SCY, my buddy. I haven't talked to you for a long time, Jerry. Hope you're well. KC2NJV. W5WLH in and out this morning. Nick from Toledo is sticking with us. He's mobile. Kevin from Homosassa is sticking with us. Barry from Apopka is sticking with us this morning. Alan from Kendall is sticking with us. KJ5MLZ. Louisiana, he's going to hang in here with us this morning. Guy, KJ5GUI, is going to be with us this morning. And I guess that was all the mobiles that we had. Any other mobiles that I did not read off?
Whiskey 9, Quebec, and Juliet, Quebec, in and out, mobile.
Gotcha, Keith, in and out, W9QJQ. All right, kids, let's have a little fun with this question this morning. Word it any way you want. I just put it up on the log. Who remembers using rabbit ears? I certainly do. I do remember. So let's see if we can have a little fun with rabbit ears this morning. Start us out, Guy. KJ5GUI. Good morning.
And good morning to you, sir. It's Kilo Juliet 5 Golf. Beautiful Yankee, mobile in New Orleans area. Wow, rabbit ears. Yeah, I do remember those a lot. And also remember putting a goodly amount of aluminum foil on those rabbit ears as well. And every once in a while giving the TV set a good swift kick inside, you know. Anyway, thank you for taking my call. Appreciate you and all of you net controllers, man, because without you, we wouldn't have a net. Kilo Juliet 5, Golf Uniform Yankee, back at you. Ladies and gentlemen, relay.
I brought up the aluminum right out of the barn. First question. I don't remember whether that was for UHF or used as a reflector. I don't remember just what we used it for, but we sure did. KJ5ML, how about you? Remember rabbit ears?
KJ5MLZ, good morning, Dick, and the rest of the crew. Yeah, man, definitely remember the rabbit ears. Oh, God, stole my thunder, man. That's what it was, man. The old man always say, go up, run in the kitchen and get that aluminum foil and wrap them around that, those antennas there. But, yeah, definitely remember. Hope everyone have a great morning and a great day today. This is KJ5MLZ. Back to you, Net Control.
Oh, thanks for being in and having a little fun with us this morning. Ellen, tell us your story. Good morning. And to ZVN.
Morning, Dick. Everyone on the Brew. Yes, I remember rabbit ears, and they were not fun. Could be rather frustrating at times. But I also remember my dad putting an antenna up on the roof and eliminated all that. And to ZVN, everyone have a good day.
Yep, an outside antenna. Well, same with AM radio. The principle is the same. Rabbit ears in the house versus an antenna on the roof. What do you think about this nonsense? Very good morning, KQ4ORK.
Good morning to everybody on the net. Thanks for picking me up. Not only do I remember rabbit ears, I actually have a set currently on my TV picking up digital. I get a lot of digital stations around here, and it works just fine. Gotta love my old Radio Shack. Back to Net Control. Everybody have a great day. KQ4, ORK in the mobile, 73.
Yeah, rehab them for digital. There you go. Thanks, Barry. Kevin from Homosassa. What's your rabbit ear story?
Good morning, Dick, Vicky, and the rest of the crew. Yes, I do remember the rabbit ears. In fact, I think I got a pair in my junk drawer someplace. But I also remember that little round UHF antenna that I could only pick up one station when I was on Long Island. Everybody have a good day. KB2WGC.
Yep. It was always the kids, you know. Get up and turn it just a little bit. Nick in Toledo, N8 or W8NJT. Tell us your story.
Morning, everybody on the net. Yeah, I definitely did have a set of those, and it was always fun when something around the room would just cause a little bit of interference. You had to keep moving the thing around. Also had a camper on a lake that had the big aerial with the rotator. That was fun to learn when you were a kid, too. W8 NJT back in net control.
You know, you went high-tech all of a sudden. It was an outside antenna. And an Alliance, I think they were Alliance A100 rotor. Look how they clicked, had that distinct clicking sound. Wayne, Belmore, New York, you had to have one. KC2NJV, good morning.
Good morning, Dick and the rest of the Brew crew, KC2NJV, and of course I had rabbit ears. And I remember my grandmother having a TV set where you had the magnifying glass in front of it. Have yourself a wonderful day.
Well, you're one up on The Godfather. I don't believe I ever saw a TV set with magnifying glass. Heard of them, but to my recollection, nope. So, guess it made things bigger, didn't it? What am I here? Jerry. And 2SCY. What about you, Jerry? Jerry was in and out.
Good morning.
You guys were in and
Yes, I do remember the rabbit ears, although we did have an antenna
How
on
about
the roof.
Floyd?
And mostly we didn't have to turn anything because we were pointed at the rotten apple, affectionately known as NYC. But anyways, that's my story and I'm sticking to it, and 2FCY.
Yes, Malcolm and Jay were in and out. Thanks for being here. Good to talk to you. Haven't caught you for quite some time. How about Floyd, 7ULC?
Well, good morning, N7ULC. I'm sorry I jumped in too early. Didn't realize you were just taking mobiles. But I'll just say in and out this morning. But yes, did remember the rabbit ears. Thanks very much.
It's all right. At least you remember. I don't know who was mobile here and who was not. We'll just do this list and not make a big deal out of it. How about Jacob? KG5UFR.
Well, good morning. KG5UFR. Jacob here, out and about at work still. Haven't quite made it back to the house, but out and about. And as far as rabbit ears go, I'm trying to get the phone off. I'm sorry. But as far as rabbit ears go, I do remember at rabbit ears. And in fact, I still sort of use the modern version, the more recent, I guess. I do over-the-air television at the house, so all three of these over-the-air antennas, but I remember actually having a proper set of rabbit ears, too. With that being said, let me get back to work and figure out where I need to go next. So talk to you in a bit. 7-3, KG5, G4.
Good day, Jacob. Let me do Keith. We can kind of even the board up here a little bit. W9QJ2. Good morning. QJQ, are you still with me? Better mark him one and done. He was mobile. Let me do a couple here via the text line, and then I'm going to go to do three, and then I'm going to go to radio check-ins. Roy, K8BYU. Good morning, Roy.
Really on the Brew. K8BYU. Yeah, I remember rabbit ears. In fact, I was the adjuster of all the time when the picture wasn't great. Dad would sit there and tell me, well, move that one, move this one, move that one. So, yeah. And I was the channel changer. I was the remote control. And hopefully we'll see everybody later this week for the Moaning Boo on Halloween. Back to you.
Before I forget to announce that there will be no youth net this Friday. No net this Friday. We're all going trick-or-treating, so no youth net this coming Friday. KF8, good morning.
Good morning, Dick. Good morning, Vicki. And good morning to everyone on frequency. I'm too young to remember rabbit ears. So with that said, back to net control. This is K8UFM, and everyone have an outstanding day.
I was wondering where our cutoff was going to be here. I knew we were going to run out of people that knew about rabbit ears, but it's a question anyway. Vince, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. KR4EMM. What about you, Vince?
Good morning, Dick. Good morning, Vicki, everybody on the crew. Yeah, I do remember that. I also remember using a wire coat hanger. Yep. And apparently I had to touch on the antennas, so, but I do remember that. Very funny. And Dick, thank you again for the information I got on TechNet last night. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. This is KR4EMM. Back to you, Dick.
Hesitate to come back in the Zoom room. 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the afternoon. Vincent. There's always somebody in there, gang in there to talk about it. First and third Thursdays. Won't be this week, but be next week. First and third Thursdays. Ask an Elmer, be an Elmer. It's another great program that we have going. Moving on down to Ray in Beaver, Pennsylvania. N3QD, DQD, and DQD. Get them in the right order, don't I, Ray? What about your rabbit ear scenario?
Here. Good morning to you, Dick, Vicki, Al, everyone else in there this morning. Well, I never knew what they were until I was living at the school in Pittsburgh when I was a child. We had an outside antenna because we lived so far away from the stations. So they were a whole new thing to me. But here's one you might remember, Dick. You remember back when 2 meters was the rage, and there were all these articles adapting products, and one of the products that was adapted for 2-meter antennas was old rabbit ears. Back to net. This is N3DQD.
All they are is a dipole. That was 50-ohm twin lead. Yeah, they worked well for. You could push them in, make them any length you want. make a good resonant link for 19 inches on each side for VHF. Yep, I can remember doing that. How about VA3GLJ? Craig up there. How about your story with rabbit ears?
Good morning, Dick, and good morning to all on frequency. Weather is 34 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 degree Celsius. My story is, yes, remember the rabbit ears growing up in northeastern Ontario in a small town called Wawa. We had one TV channel, so as kids we would pray that we'd have an extremely cold winter so that Lake Superior would freeze up, and we would get TV skips across from Michigan and get some American programming. Everybody have a great day in 73, VA3JLJ.
Dick, morning Vicky, morning to the crew. I do remember rabbit ears. I remember sitting with my dad watching the first run Star Trek shows in the living room with the black and white TV and the rabbit ears on top. I remember the day that Mom announced that we weren't going to do that anymore, that we're actually going to have a thing called cable TV. And my dad said, well, let's keep the rabbit ears just in case this cable thing doesn't work out 100%. So I learned a valuable lesson in systems redundancy even as a younger person. Everybody take care. 7-3s, we'll talk again. It's KM4WZD. Back to net.
Well, I'm sure in the early days, you had to go out a lot. A good old backup. Let me do a couple more here, and then I'm going to take some check-ins. Do Joe here in Claremont, KM4WZD.
Hey, Dick, KM4WZD here. I think we kind of got a little out of order. I already went this morning.
I guess I'm colorblind this morning, Joe. Pardon me. I meant to go to V3XTD. Eric. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning. Yes, I do remember rabbit ears. One CBC station in Toronto and a station in Buffalo. And when my father, in all his wisdom, decided to mount the rabbit ears high on the wall and at a rather odd angle, we actually got 3 stations. It was amazing. Back to you.
Robert, and then we're going to take some radio check-ins. We'll leave the rest of these go for a little bit, make it even up the board here a little bit. KJ4ZFM, Robert.
I couldn't wait, Dick. I kind of sat here and felt like I really couldn't wait. Actually, my experience with those rabbit ears was my first Maxim little walkie-talkie. I figured out a way to get those rabbit ears on that walkie-talkie, and I walked all over the place and talked to a lot of old CB radio guys with a little walkie-talkie. I guess that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. KJ4ZFM.
Well, Robert, well, if you're good to Vicky, she'll show you the rabbit ears that she got with a set of headphones here the other day, so be good to her. They're pink, too. She'll show them to you. Let me go down the list here. Go way down, Vicky. Let's go down and let's get some radio check-ins this morning. We've got so many texts here. So let's go to some radio check-ins. Anybody, anywhere, give me a half a dozen or so. Check-ins, then we'll go back up and do the text, kind of alternate back and forth and make it fair to everybody. Out and about, Mobiles, anybody, anywhere, twice and slowly. Whiskey
Alpha, Alpha, 5, Juliet, Whiskey Mobile.
Delta
Kilo
India
Charlie
Quebec
5 Charlie
DIQ
Zulu
in and out.
X-ray KC5CZX.
Kilo Delta 6 Delta India Quebec in and out.
2ERX. WB2ERX.
This is Kilo Julia 5 Delta India Tango. This is Kilo Julia 5 Delta India Tango. This is Matthew of Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Good morning.
KK7GY. KK7GY.
JW. James, tell us all about those rabbit ears you used to play with.
Well, good morning, Dick and Vicky and everybody on the Brew crew. This is Alpha Alpha 5 Juliet Whiskey Mobile. James in Spring for work today. It is a crisp 57 degrees outside and it feels fantastic. To the question at hand, yes, rabbit ears. In fact, I tried to use rabbit ears after Hurricane Beryl came through Houston because we had no TV, no internet, no phones, no nothing, and had the house running on generator, and the rabbit ears that I had, the old ones, were worthless. Apparently, if you have foil radiant barrier in your roof, it does a pretty good job of blocking out television signals when you're a good way away from the transmitter. So I have rectified that problem now, and I have an Air TV on the roof, good Yagi, and I get about 100 channels digital. It's pretty impressive. With that, I'll say 7-3, hand it back to Ned. Everybody have a blessed day and stay safe out there. This is Alpha Alpha 5 Juliet Whiskey Mobile. We'll be monitoring.
Well, I'm not sure what you call that barrier that didn't work in your roof, but we've learned a lesson here this morning. That same principle applies for UHF and VHF. So when you're out with your portable, can't get out, that's the same principle that applies, of course. Morning, Steve, W8STJ.
Hey, good morning, Dick. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, everybody here in the Morning Brew. And I never really remembered having rabbit ears going up, except for when we were going camping. But me and my family, we lived far enough out. We had to have an antenna on the roof to get all the local channels until cable TV came around in our area in the mid '80s. So hope everybody has a great and blessed day ahead. This is W8STJ.
Thank you. Tell us about Lubbock, Texas. I'm sure you were in the Navy then, Joe, and got some stories. KC5CZX.
Well, good morning, Dick, and everybody else on the Brew. KC5CZX. Yeah, back in my younger days, we lived way out in the sticks in Madisonville, Texas, and we had an outside antenna on a tower on a rotor that we could just point to whatever little city was transmitting the station that we wanted to watch. And then as we moved into the city, well, cable came about and stuff like that, so, the antenna kind of went away. But, yes, I do remember playing around with the rabbit ears and the outside antennas and all that good stuff. And so back to net, KC5CZX.
Oh, this next guy in Ridge, New York, Rich, I'm sure, WB2ERX, I'm sure he played with rabbit ears. Good morning.
Morning, Dick, Vicky, and the rest of the crew. Absolutely. And I haven't heard anybody say about tuning those rabbit ears with the very valuable piece of tinfoil that always used to happen. Back to that, WB2ERX.
Never put it on the same two spots twice. KJDIT, good morning.
Good morning. I'm doing a little better. I remember homemade rabbit ears with a coat hanger upside down, wrapped it in tin foil, doing whatever we could to bring in a foggy station that had lines in it, and being happy with whatever cartoon I used to catch. So, good morning.
It was a big gain. I can remember, I think Scott did this not too long ago. He took 3-4 coat hangers and put them on a board, and I can remember doing that as a kid, make a director and a reflector and make a beam. Coat hangers. You, Clark, in Phoenix, Arizona, KK7DY, what's your story?
Well, good morning, Brew Crew. Yes, I remember rabbit ears up until 1983. Back to net control, K7DY.
Is that when they disappeared? Where do I have to go here, Vicky? I didn't go up to now. A2ES. Do text check-ins now. Good morning, Mark. What about you?
Good morning, Vicky and the rest of the crew. Yes, I remember antennas with the tin foil, using that, using coat hangers, adding wire, trying to lengthen it as much as possible and catch a lot of signal. Have a great day, KE2EDS.
Boy, I do have to scroll up here. I got a whole bunch. We're scattered all over the board here this morning. How about Michael, Farmington Hills, Michigan, KF8EBV?
Morning, Dick. Morning, Vicky, and the rest of the Brew Crew. Yes, I remember it, and I remember specifically when we had a pretty crappy UHF station and really wanting to watch that, whatever it was on, having to stand there and hold the antenna, and if you grabbed it in just the right place, I assume I was acting as the counterpoise. That was my job as a 10-year-old. But anyway, back to net. Have a great week, and KF8EBV.
Out of the control remote. What year was 88, Vicky? Yeah. 1988? Yeah. Vicky just said she was Googling some stuff in 1988. They stopped making the real tinfoil. So there you go. 1947. They stopped making the real tinfoil. Gil, K4GDS, good morning.
Good morning, Dick and Vicky, and yes, I do. I remember using rabbit ears. All you out there, come out and join us tonight on open mic night, 8 o'clock tonight. F0MHN and myself, Bill and myself, will be your net controllers, so come out, keep us company, K4GDS, back to that.
Mentioned that, Gil. I completely forgot about that tonight. Chuck in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, W3TVE.
Morning, Dick, Vicky, and everybody on the Brew there. Yeah, I think I still have a set of those rabbit ears down on the shelf down in the basement there, Dick, in case somebody needs them. Back to you. Have a great day. W3CVE.
Yeah, I think I got a set stashed away as well. I need to move along here. How about Bill, Dunnville, Ontario, VA3YBS. Good morning, Bill.
Morning, Dick. Good morning, Dick, and everybody on the Brew Crew. Yeah, I think I have a set of rabbit ears in my junk drawer somewhere, too, because I never throw anything out. But I remember rabbit ears back in the 50s. We used to watch 3 stations from Buffalo. I think it was channel 2, 4, and 7. and we had one station from Hamilton, and sometimes we could get Channel 5 from Toronto, and that was important to watch the hockey games on. So, yeah, that's my memory of rabbit ears. This is VA3 YBS, back to net control.
Memory, Bill. I just remember 2, 4, and 7 in Buffalo. That's all I remember. KB3EYR. Here, Greg.
Morning,
YER.
Sorry for the delay there. I couldn't get my echo link to key up. The repeater was busy. Good morning. This is KB3EYR. Yes, definitely remember rabbit ears. We had a few of those around growing up, and like some others, I may actually have a set of those stashed away here somewhere. So anyway, that's it from this side of Pennsylvania. Have a good rest of the day. Back to net control.
Sure. What about, quickly tell us, KM7CGI, your story.
Yeah, I definitely remember those rabbit ears. Like the first caller on here said that you add the aluminum foil and give it a little kick in the side to get it working better. But in fact, before I got my ham radio a few years ago, I got an SDR receiver that came with a rabbit ears dipole antenna. Back to you.
Well, the cable is 300 ohm versus what we use at 50, but you can certainly match that through all kind of matching transformers around. Bill, KI4EGQ, what about you?
Good morning to all on the Brew crew. Yeah, I remember rabbit ears, and remember at one point my parents got for the console TV in the living room, or the den, they got a rotating antenna that made this noise. You know, it sounded like a slow-going electric grinder motor on top of the console to get dialing the channels when we had spots marked on the big dial for all the stations. But if us kids wanted to watch another program, we had to retreat to the back bedroom and use those rabbit ears on the little TV on the cart. So yeah, I remember those, and sometimes you'd have to sit there and hold it to get a decent reception. So human capacitance. There you go. Anyway, everybody have a great day. KI4EGQ.
For sure. How about Terry, KF4ACB? Terry?
Just on me dating myself, KF4ACB, by the way. Good morning, Dickie and Vicky, or Dick and Vicky. I certainly do remember rabbit ears. I remember them not working very well because we lived in a little bitty town out in the country. And Dad finally put up a rotor and a big antenna on top of a pole. And I learned about propagation. I learned about planes flying over, blocking out the signal. We could only get 3 channels, even with the big TV antenna. And occasionally we could get a 4th one up until about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then it would come back on again about 8 o'clock at night when it got dark. That was WLOS TV out of channel 13 out of Asheville, North Carolina. So you certainly have brought back some memories this morning. I used to have to go watch Lost in Space at a friend's house. Couldn't get the UHF channel out of Knoxville, but he could for some reason. He was only like 300 yards away.
We want to do, Terry, we want to make you think about rabbit ears all day today. That'll be on your brain all day. You'll be thinking about all the things you did with rabbit ears. So we'd like to get people's day started with a thought. David in Sacramento, California. QDY. Your story, David.
Hey, good morning, Dick, Vicky, the Brew Crew, and everybody in the Zoom control room, N6QDY. Put me down for a yes, absolutely. The foil and the whole 9 yards, and forming them different ways to try to get the signal to come in correctly. I think that was part of the reason why I started getting interested in ham radio. I'm not 100% sure, but that could have been. Anyways, you guys have a great day. Thanks for doing what you do, Dick. And back to net control, N6QDY.
Hey, David, I got to move along here this morning. I got to go to Jeff, K0GKF. Good morning.
Good morning, Dick. Good morning, Vicky. Everybody on the Brew. Of course I remember the rabbit ears. You're dating me for sure here. I'm in my 60s now. As a child, we would hold on to the rabbit ears as a counterpoise to get a good signal. When TVs had 2 bands, Dick, if you remember, 2 dials, UHF and VHF. It's got to sound familiar to us ham operators. You had 2 bands. We had 3 stations, the 3 big networks. On here in Omaha was 3, 6, and 7. And channel 26 on UHF. If I remember, VHF went from 2 to 12, and then channel 13 through like 78 was UHF or whatever. And we had one on there too, channel 26. PBS was on channel 26. Remember when you had to adjust horizontal and vertical on your TV to get the doggone picture to come in sometimes? It would get all goofy. You had to get into the TV and adjust the horizontal and the vertical. If you remember, TVs in the past had, of course, tubes in them a long time ago. And the old feature on some of them, they would stay just warm. They'd go down to about 25% when you turned them off. They'd always stay on. So it'd give you a quicker fire up when you turned on your TV. Boy, all the different things with TVs back then. We'll send it back to net, KE0GKF.
Some of those were said heating, Solomon. Charlie, Sun City, Florida, NA2B. Good morning, Charlie.
Hey, good morning, Dick. Everybody on the net from Birdie and I. Really nice 65 this morning. Got a cool front moving in. Finally going to get some good weather. Response to the question, yes to everything. Right from channel changer to aluminum foil to everything. We've done it all. Matter of fact, back in upstate New York, we could get WBTC in Plattsburgh, WWNY in Watertown, KOH, all over in Ontario somewhere. Anyway, Dick, one thing to add to all that is living in an HOA. I have rabbit ears up in my attic that also pick up digital, and during hurricanes and emergency situations where we lose power, I'm still able to get reception through my APC battery backup, so they still come in. Thanks for what you do. NA2B, back to that.
Moving quickly, WD8KOB.
This is WD8KOB. Good morning, Net. Hope everybody's having a good hump day. It is Wednesday. And no rabbit ears. Instead, we had to have an antenna back on the mountain. And even then, we only got one channel. That's the way it was. Have a great day, everyone. WD8KOB, back to Net.
When it's no for Rod. Let's go to Gary, N8ZFH, Woodhaven, Michigan. What about you, Gary?
morning, Dick, Vicky, and the crew. Thank you for all you do, Dick, and all you've done in the past. And, yep, I can remember rabbit ears. I even remember when UHF came into existence and we had to get a special rabbit ears with a loop to it. And I still have rabbit ears hooked up to digital TV for over the air. And that one gets used when our granddaughter comes to visit. She likes watching cartoons. And like you, we had Windsor come in also on Channel 9 and could watch Popeye was about the only cartoon that they showed from Canada. Please check me in and out. NHZFH, back to net.
JR.
Good morning, Dick. Everybody on the crew. Yep, I remember rabbit ears for sure. My old man my dad would build anything out of stuff that was around the house. And when the rabbit ears broke, we had a set that were made from an old tape measure. Back to you, Dick. 7-3, everybody.
Kind of like our tape measure antenna today. Anna, Beaver, Pennsylvania. What about you, young lady?
Good morning, Dick, Vicki, and the crew in there this morning. Yes, I do remember rabbit ears. My dad would sit in his chair and tell one of us kids to go over and move them and put them this way and that way and whatever worked. Everybody have a great day. KD3 AJN.
That was exactly the answer I was looking for this morning, Anna. Where Dad told you go turn it a little bit this way, a little bit that way, as he sat in his chair and you were the rotor. Thanks for being here. Let's take some new radio check-ins. Anybody anywhere like to get on the list here this morning? Our numbers are down, but we've had some good conversation. Anybody anywhere? Call signs twice. This is Dick, WB2JPQ.
KO4CLD. KO4CLD.
Victor Echo 3, Tango Golf November. Victor Echo 3, Tango Golf November. Tim Wexler, Ontario, Canada.
Victor Alpha 3, Kilo Tango Juliet. VA3, KTJ, in and out.
N7SH, N7SH, in and out.
N2BH, N2BH.
Kilo 2 Tango Victor, Kilo 2 Tango Victor.
Yankee Foxtrot.
Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Romeo Foxtrot. Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Romeo Foxtrot.
Kilo Charlie 3, Lima Alpha Victor. Kilo Charlie 3, Lima Alpha Victor.
W7 OMH, W7 OMH mobile, in and out. Good morning.
KO4FRR, KO4FRR.
All right, let me hold up there, guys and gals. We got Joe KO4, Mike W7OMH. We got another Mike KC3LAV. We got Vern VA3CRF. We got Bob VK4BYF. We got another Bob N2TV. Bill N2BH. We got Dan N7SH. Tim, V3TGN, Micah, KO4CLD, Bill from the Gulf, KR4CKC, and I guess he's at the top. I didn't have anybody mobile. I had one, but they were in and out. So I go to you, Bill, in the villages. KR4CKC. What can you tell us about rabbit ears back in the era? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody on the Brew. Unfortunately, I do remember rabbit ears as a child and growing up, and black and white TV that went right along with them. So, yeah, I do remember those rabbit ears.
Yes, for Bill. What about you, Micah? Good morning.
Good morning. Yep, I remember rabbit ears. Even though being 34, they were still around and in use in my little town. But more importantly, I remember that we had a big antenna and a tower, so we could really watch cartoons. And even 3-year-olds figured out real fast which way to point that thing to get to watch Popeye. KO4CLD, back to net.
That theory, or all of that theory, pertains to amateur radio. Sure. Thanks, Micah. Good morning to Tim, VE3TGN.
Dick, Dickie and the Brew. Well, I was up at the 10th floor of the apartment building. I still use them, and I get over 60 channels as JCTV and small portable with it in the little room. Got little rabbit ears and it covered like tag busters. They're up to the 10th floor of the apartment there. So thank you very much for picking me up there. VE3TGN clerk with Terror Sundays to the gag and everybody else.
Up at the road, I thought you'd had a great shot. Bill, N2BH, are you old enough to remember rabbit ears?
Oh, goodness, yes. And being the remote. N2BH.
Thanks, Bill. K2TV. Bob, you've worked in broadcasting all your life. You're going to have an interesting story, I'm sure.
Oh, good morning, Dick. Good morning, everyone. No, actually, I remember the rabbit ears, but as a kid, I always lived really far away from, about 35 miles from the transmitters. So we always had an antenna on the roof. And I remember people who lived in New York City used to take aluminum foil and they put aluminum on the little feed line going to the rabbit ears and play with it. Hopefully get rid of all the multipath reception. But I'm sure there's someone somewhere in the big cities probably still have rabbit ears. And no antenna on the roof. Anyway, everyone have a great day. This is K2.
Thank you, Bob. Let's see how they did it in Australia. Good morning, Bob. VK4BYF. Did you have rabbit ears in Australia?
Hi, good morning to the Brew crew. Thank you for coming back to us. Yes, we did have rabbit ears. When I was on the farm, we actually ended up turfing the rabbit ears and making up a antenna that was made out of just a bit of pipe and a bit of rod, so that worked well as well. But when I was doing my traineeship in 1980s, early 80s, I had rabbit ears there because I couldn't afford an antenna. So most definitely did have rabbit ears. Okay, VK4BYF. Yeah, back to the Brew crew.
Rob, thank you for stopping by. Vern, VA3 Sierra. Lay it on us, buddy. What's the story up there with rabbit ears?
Good morning, Dick and Vicky, everybody on the net. Thanks for picking me up. Out for a walk. Temperature is, let me do the math in my head, about 36, 37. Absolutely remember rabbit ears, and remember that to get UHF channels, you put a little bow tie on the rabbit ears. What I remember as well, Vic, is we used to be able to pick up Channel 2 and Channel 7 from Buffalo, which was always fun. Watch Commander Tom in the morning. And there was one of those, I don't remember which one, used to say at 11 p.m., it's 11 p.m., you know where your children are. One other thing I remember is they would always, in the news, mention that there was a fire at an abandoned warehouse at the corner of Main and Sycamore. That thing seemed to burn down every day. Back to you, Dick. Hope everyone has a good day. Thanks for doing it. VA3CRF.
Remember that channel every 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? And we would count heads in our house and see if they were all home. Good memory, Bert. How about Mike? KC3LAV. Good morning, Mike.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And a fine good morning to you and everyone on the crew this morning. This is KC3LAV, Mike in Warwick Township, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Great to hear Quarryville in there and Beaver and all those other fine stations on the net. Yes, indeed. All the stories we heard about rabbit ears, we sure do relate to all that stuff, including getting whacked with broken pieces of them, too. We got that, too, in our history book. Thanks for the stories, KC3LAV. Back to network clear.
A nice day, Mike. Let's see if this next guy's old enough to remember rabbit ears. Joe, KO4FRR.
Well, good morning, Dick. This is Joe, KO4FRR. You'll be surprised. Remembered the tinfoil on the rabbit ears, remembered the human antenna, and remembered and had a black and white TV for my first TV in my bedroom because color TV was still expensive. This is Joe, KO4FR. Back to you, Dick.
Oh, thank you, Joe. KJ5LJJ. Greg, good morning.
Hey, good morning, crew. Yes, I remember the rabbit ears. Sometimes they would break and you would put a piece of aluminum foil in them. And sometimes you would attach a clothes hanger to them, but you can only pick up a certain amount of channels. All we could pick up was about 2 or 3 channels. KJ5LJJ Greg. Out of Mississippi by way of Slidell, Louisiana. Back to you, net control.
You're having fun with us this morning. I'm going to make this last for me and give Al an extra minute here. I always take him away from him. Jim in Easton, Pennsylvania, my friend. I was in Zoom last night. We enjoyed having you in there, Jim. KD38TQ.
Good morning, Vicky and the Brew crew. Yeah, good time in the Zoom room, just watching everybody. Yeah, I remember the rabbit ears, the bow tie, and the tinfoil upgrades. Oh my gosh. Back to net control, KD3ATQ.
Tinfoil upgrades. I like that. The tinfoil. Well, thanks for having fun. This past hour with me, it's been fun hearing all these stories about rabbit ear antennas. Let's see what Al can drum up in his next hour. So, everybody later, have a good week. And I guess I won't see you till probably next Tuesday. Over to you, Al. Oh, wait a minute. I'm up to... No, I'm not. Am I up tomorrow? Yeah, I'm up tomorrow. What am I... Ooh. Well, I better go back to bed. Morning, Al.
Thank you, Dick. Good morning, everybody. This is Al, KABAC. Oh, Vicky, KABKY, keeping me out of trouble. Yes, I still have rabbit ears. In fact, I have the ones that I had in college. They're in a box somewhere, minus the 2 adult beverage cans that were placed on top of them for a little bit better reception. We were pretty resourceful back then. But yeah, they're up there somewhere, all folded up nicely. We have a couple of text check-ins. We have AAB4KT, Kenneth in the Villages in Florida, and AA8WI, Bernie in Portsmouth, Ohio. Let's take some regular check-ins. Regular check-ins, come now with your call signs, twice and slowly.
Kilo 4, Kilo Zulu, AK4, KZZ Mobile.
2GRN.
KD2,
KAQWK.
Delta 2, Uniform Golf, Quebec. Mike and Shirley. Kilo 5, Mike Papa, Hotel, K5MPH, in and out. Thank you.
November Juliet 1 Sierra, NJ1 Sierra, Eric in Vermont with a check-in only, please.
CJM, W2, CJM, Mobile.
KE2EHI, Kilo Echo 2, Echo Hotel India, in and out.
Kilo Oscar 4, Foxtrot, Bravo Mike. Kilo Oscar 4, Bravo Mike. Good morning.
Well, alrighty, I think we got a pretty good list going here. First, let's acknowledge the in-and-out stations, KE2EHI, Joe, Westfield, New York. NJ1S, Eric, Shelburne, Vermont. K5MPH, Michael in Brownsville, Texas. Good morning, guys. Thanks for checking in this morning. From the bottom up, we had Jose in St. Cloud, KO4FBM. Sounded like he's mobile. W2CJM, Charles in Selden, New York. He was mobile. N5GI, Rick in the Villages, Florida. He's checking in via text. KD2UGQ, Mike in Shirley, New York. K8BWK, Ben, traversing about the United States and Germany. KC2GRN, Joel, East Yaffang, New York. KK4KZZ, Mark in Gainesville, Florida. So let's get our mobiles out of the way. W2CJM, Charles in Selden, New York. Question of the day. Do you remember using rabbit ears on your TV? Good morning, Charles.
Al, Vicky, everybody on the crew, the answer is yes. Back in the late 50s, I remember using the rabbit ears. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe.
All righty, thank you, Charles. Have a great day. Sounded like Jose was mobile, too. Let's get him. KO4FBM, Jose in St. Cloud. Good morning.
Good morning, Al, Vicky, and the rest of the morning brew. Oh, yeah, I remember those, and I remember the full model TVs. I used to have a Zini at home. I paid $600 for them. And it came with those rubber ears. You used to move it around to get the good signal. Back to you, and have a wonderful day, sir.
All righty, thank you, Jose. Have a great day, too. All right, let's jump up to the top of the list. AA8WI, Bernie in Ohio. Good morning.
Al, Vicky, and on the crew. Well, rabbit ears were useless for us because I grew up out in the country, and there were no broadcast stations any near us. So even with our big antenna up on a tower with a rotator or rotor on it, we got 3 channels, and one of those was PBS. So We could have done nothing with rabbit ears. We just weren't close enough to anything. 73, everyone. AWI.
All righty, thank you, Bernie. Have a great morning. Let's go to AB4KT Kenneth in the Villages, Florida. Good morning, Kenneth.
Yeah, good morning. This is Ken, AB4KT, Villages, Florida. Yeah, of course, everybody had rabbit ears at one time. I guess not literally, but everybody I knew had rabbit ears. Everybody have a great day. Back to net.
All righty, thank you, Ken. Have a great day. Let's go to KK4KZZ, Mark in Gainesville, Florida. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, and I remember the rabbit ears. Actually, worked for Radio Shack, and we could still sell them at that time. Quite interesting. Depending where you are, well, we all know that. Depending where you are, depending what you picked up on them. But I do remember them. Have a great day, everybody. I'll send it back. KK4KZZ.
Radio Shack had those advanced rabbit ears where you had a little dial on the front, and I had no idea what that dial meant. All right, let's go to KC2GRN, Joel in East Yank, New York. Good morning, Joel.
Good morning, Al and Vicky and everybody on the morning brew today. Yes, I do remember rabbit ears. Used those for quite some time. And anytime we got a second TV, that wound up having a set of rabbit ears until we could get the regular cable hooked up to the antenna. Anyway, everybody have a great day, and we'll be talking back to the net. KC2GRN.
All righty, thank you, Joel. Have a great morning. Let's go to K8BWK. Ben, are you back home, Ben? Good morning.
Morning, Al. No, sir. Left Switzerland first thing this morning. Just got to Amsterdam and got a 2-hour layover and an 8.5-hour flight to Detroit, and then a 45-minute drive home. So we'll be home late tonight with today's question. Oh, yes, sir. I do remember. I remember even getting up and moving ears from my dad back when I was a little guy. So with that, we'll pass it back to you. Thanks, Al. Everyone have a great Wednesday already. Wow. K8BWK.
All righty, Ben. You guys safe travel. Hope you get home okay. Let's go to KD2 UGQ, Mike in Shirley, New York. Good morning, Mike.
Morning to everybody on Brew and the net. Yes, I remember rap. Do I remember? I'm over 75 years old, so yeah. I remember rabbit ears, put the cans on top of the rabbit ears, and then tying wires to them to get a little better reception. Then we got outside antennas. We got one TV channel from Connecticut and 2 TV channels from New York. And amazingly enough, out of those 3 TV channels, there was more stuff to watch than there is with 300 channels today. Okay, this is KT2 UGQ. Back to net control. Thank you for running this, and everybody have a wonderful day.
All righty, thank you, Mike. Yeah, it does seem like there's a lot better programming on than just the few channels we had. Let's go to N5GI, Rick in the Villages. Good morning, Rick. N5GI, Rick, are you with us?
Sorry about that, Al. Out walking the dog as usual and got a little bit of distraction there. But good morning to everybody on the crew this morning. It's a beautiful day down here in the Villages. A lovely 60 degrees this morning, making the walk very, very comfortable. As for the answer to the question, of course we remember rabbit ears. Rabbit ears, tinfoil, putting up our first outside antenna, and a rotor of all things at my dad's house. So, yep, we definitely remember the old rabbit ears. Back to net control. This is N5GI.
All right, thank you, Rick. Have a great morning. Yeah, it is kind of cool out there, but it's not too bad. Looks like we got some more text check-ins. We'll go up the list here as soon as it populates. We got WA8CLG, Doug in Homosassa, KC2JZE, Bob in Hamburg, New York. We had KF8DRJ, Doug in Allen Park, Michigan. KQ8U, Bob in Ecorse, Michigan. We have N8HLN, Mike in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan. We have N4RSM, Richard, Sumter, South Carolina. And KD9YUZ, Jimmy, Wakarusa, Indiana. Looks like do we get KC2JZE, Bob in Hamburg, New York, and K6AAN, Mike in Valley Springs, California. Let's just run down that list. KD9YUZ, good morning, Jimmy. Do you remember using rabbit ears?
Well, good morning, Al and Vicki and everybody out there on the crew. Yes, indeed, I remember the rabbit ears, and I remember the aluminum foil, and I remember being the rotator unit for my dad while he sat there. I remember the whole thing. Kind of a nice walk down memory lane this morning. Everybody have a beautiful, blessed day. KD9YD, back to net.
All righty, thank you, Jimmy. Yeah, and if something was extremely important, I had to be the counterpoise for my grandpa's television set, and you'd hold on to that, and you'd get better reception. Let's go to N4RSM, Richard, Sumter, South Carolina. Good morning.
Good morning to everybody on the Brew crew. Well, remember the rabbit ears and the aluminum foil and turning the outside antenna manually.
All righty, thank you, Richard. Yep, those are the days. Let's go to N8HLN, Mike, Grosse Pointe Park. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Coming to you this morning from east side of Detroit, where it's clear and 45 degrees. Yes, I absolutely remember the rabbit ears, along with the aluminum foil preamp. 73 to all, back to net, N8HLN.
All right, thank you, Mike. Have a good day. Let's go to Bob, KQ8U in Ecorse. Good morning, Bob.
Morning, Al, Vicki, and the rest of the crew. I do remember that. Have done that many times. I've still got an antenna now. I don't have cable. Have a great day. KQ8U, back to that.
All righty, thank you, Bob. Yeah, we've got a digital antenna on about 30 feet, and man, we can bring in all kinds of stations with that. So I don't know why we bother with the Hulu and all those streaming. Let's go to KF8DRJ in Allen Park. Good morning.
Morning, Al. Everybody on the Brew, everybody in the Zoom room. If you're looking at the Zoom room, I did something by accident that's a little unfortunate. Okay. Yes, in the 80s, Joe is giving me grief. In the 80s, I was a Radio Shack manager, so I sold a lot of those rabbit ears. And I remember the ones with the little switch, and they'd bring them up to the counter, and they'd say, "What's this switch for?" And I said, "I don't know. Fiddle with it, see if it makes it better, makes it worse." But yeah, I remember them very well. Back to net, everybody have a great day. KF8DRJ.
I miss the 80s Radio Shack. Yeah, those were the good old days. And yeah, I never did figure out what that dial's for. Let's go to WA8CLG, Doug in Homosassa. Good morning.
This is WA8CLG. Good morning, everybody. And I certainly remember the rabbit ears. I was about 14 or 15 when we got our first television in the house. Beautiful wood cabinet with a monstrous 12-inch screen on it. and with the rabbit ears. And we could get channel 2, 4, and 7 from Detroit, and then later on channel 9. And you had a choice of watching comics or Milton Berle. Back to you, Al. WAHCLG. Everybody have a good one.
All right. Yeah, and if you're in this area, you got Canadian stations too. That was a real treat because you got Hockey Night in Canada. Let's go to KC2JZE, Bob in Hamburg. Good morning, Bob.
All out there, and of course I remember rabbit ears. But I also remember my father got an outdoor antenna, and when the Buffalo Bills game would come on, he'd go up on the roof and try to rotate it toward Erie, PA, so he could see the game, and I'd be standing down below telling him the picture was getting better or worse. So, yeah, the old days of television were interesting. Back to the next, KC2JZ.
All righty, thank you, Bob. Have a great morning. We go to K6AAN, Mike, Valley Springs, California. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning to everybody on the Brew Crew. Absolutely, I can remember rabbit ears back in the 60s. We had them in a couple of TVs of very useful back-to-net control. You know, have a great day. This is K6A.
All righty, thank you, Mike. Have a great day. Looks like we got a couple more in here. NW4Q, Jim in Murfreesboro. Good morning, Jim.
Just blew my speakers out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, Jim, but you were nothing but a tone when you just came through there. You want to fix that and recheck, that's fine. Let's go to KW4SOG, Mike in Huntsville, Alabama. Good morning, Mike.
Al, everybody out there, yeah, I definitely remember rabbit ears, and I also remember as a kid seeing the remote channels on KW4SOG, back to that 73, everybody.
All righty, have a great day. All right, this is Al, KBAC, along with Vicky, KABKY. Log for me, keep me out of trouble. Let's take some more check-ins. General check-ins. If you want to get in on the log, come out the call signs twice and slowly.
November Whiskey 3 United, NW3.
NY20, November Yankee 2 Oscar.
Kilo Oscar, W3KKO. Kilo Charlie 3 Foxtrot Golf Delta. Kilo Charlie 3 Foxtrot Golf Delta.
November 2 India Sierra Kilo. November 2 India Sierra Kilo.
Kilo Charlie 4 Juliet Golf Charlie. KC4JGC Tractor Trailer Mobile. Steve, current location Durham, North Carolina.
Kilo Bravo 8, Papa Lima Victor. Kilo Bravo 8, Papa Lima Victor, Chris.
All right, that's a good little list. Let's run up the list from the bottom up. Checking in via text. Looks like we got KE6MAE, Larry, Calamasa, California. KY4NB, Scott, Memphis, Tennessee. We got KB8PLB, Chris, Novi. KC4JGC, Steve, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Mobile in the semi. We got SM4XBC, Niles Eric in Sweden. We We got N2ISK Bob Woodbridge, New Jersey. We got KO4GGZ David Archer, Florida. KC3FGD Ray, Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. W3KKO Clifford, Hagerstown, Maryland. He's new to the system. Good morning. We have NY20 Ray, Orlando. And we got NW3U David in Garner, North Carolina. Let's jump down to our mobile. KC4JGC Steve. Question of the day, who remembers using rabbit ears? Good morning, Steve.
Well, good morning, folks. I guess you could say I use rabbit ears now. I have a little VHF, UHF antenna sitting on top of my bookshelf in the living room, and it does quite nicely. Receiving ATSC 10, and of course, whenever ATSC 30 finally comes around, I'll do just as good. Growing up, didn't have rabbit ears per se. When we had an actual big antenna, well, kind of big anyway. On a mast sitting on top of the garage. So had the twin lead running down out of the garage underground, and then back up and into the twin screws on the back of the TV set. Worked fantastically. So still kind of a wet day here. I've left Virginia Beach this morning at about 3:30. I'm coming into Durham now, and it's still kind of misty, gloomy rain. So heading to Madison, which is kind of halfway between Greensboro and Martinsville, Virginia. So looks like I'll be able to get unloaded pretty quick, judging from my phone call I just got. And we'll be back at the port in Plymouth or Norfolk, Virginia, before the end of the day. So back over to you. KC4JGC 22-wheel tractor trailer mobile.
All right, thank you, Steve. Have a great morning. Safe travels out there, sir. Let's go to NW3U David, Garner, North Carolina. Good morning, David.
Well, good morning to everybody out there on the Morning Brew. Hope you're doing good. Got the cup of coffee in hand. I got to get mine yet. I haven't done that yet. Answer to the question, yes, I do remember them. But I don't think we ever used any. We were too far away from a local station. We needed an outside antenna to pick anything up. But I do remember all about them. And everybody have a good day, and we'll catch you folks tomorrow. 73's NW3U.
All righty, thank you, David. Have a great morning. Let's go to NY20 Ryan in Orlando, Florida. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning. This is November Yankee 2 Oscar Ryan, Orlando. I am a little bit too young to remember rabbit ears. I am 25 years old. Those are a little bit before my time. I know that I don't think we even tried to get OTA TV when I was young. I think we just had cable. I've tried to set them up in my apartment here, but I'm on the first floor in a very interior spot, so surrounded by concrete and rebar, so I get no OTA TV. But rabbit ears are a little bit before my time. November Yankee 2 Oscar. Back to net control.
All righty, thank you, Ryan. Have a good morning. Let's go to W3KKO, Cliff in Hagerstown, Maryland. Good morning.
Good morning to everyone on the net. Cliff in Hagerstown is the home QTH. Just pulled into the work office here in Westminster, Maryland. about maybe 35 miles or so northwest of Baltimore. Drizzly, rainy day. And grew up in Philadelphia, so we did have rabbit ears, a little bit of tin foil, and picked up a bunch of channels on that until Dad went and put the antennas up on the roof. But certainly remember it. Old enough to know that. And to the gentleman, the youngin who just spoke, you don't know what you were missing out on. So get a set and try it out. I hope everyone has a great day. W3KK Eau Claire.
All righty, thanks for joining the East Coast Reflector Morning Brew Net. I see you're new to the system. If you are new to the system and you check into any of our nets, you automatically receive a welcome letter from the East Coast Reflector team if you have a valid email in QRZ. Cliff, have a great day. Thanks for checking in. Let's go to KC3FGD Ray in Elizabethtown. Good morning, Ray.
Hey, good morning, Al, Vicky, everyone on the Brew. Boy, I remember those well back in the 50s. I probably had them on the early 60s, and I happen to have a more modern version here that I use on one of my AM/FM radios, so very familiar with those. As far as the rest of the day, going to head up to the wood shop here in a few minutes, have coffee with the boys, and then over to gardens. I got to get cleaned up. I got to get my tomato plants out and so forth. Still working on that. All the peppers are out and drying in the garage. KC3FGD, back to net.
All righty, thank you, Ray. Yeah, we took the garden down Saturday. I was outside all day long doing that stuff, but we got everything in, got all the squash in. We're ready to rock and roll. Bring on the snow. Let's get a KO4 GGZ, David in Archer, Florida. Good morning, David. KO4 GGZ, are you with us? Alrighty, here nothing. Let's go to N2SK Bob in Woodbridge. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, everybody. I remember the rabbit ears, very much so. And putting the aluminum foil on the 300-ohm twin leg and sliding it up and down for tuning. I've had many weird TVs and things. My father had a sideline of radio and TV repair, so we had the old continuous tuning, so-called and things, high band, FM, low band, TV frequencies, with the green eye tuning, all that stuff. So, yeah, there wasn't any UHF yet back then, but yeah. I spent the entire Radio Shack as an unpaid helper, repairing things and running for stuff. So, all right. Anyway, everybody have a good day, and someday, Ray, I'd like to hear about the wood shop thing because I'm a big time do-it-yourselfer. So, anyway, have a good weekend. Have a good day. Whatever it is. Andrew Ashton.
All righty, thank you, Bob. Have a great day. Let's go to SM4XBC. Now's Eric in Sweden. Good morning. SM4XBC, are you with us? All right, here nothing. Let's jump down to KB8PLB. Chris and Novi. Good morning, Chris.
Hope everyone's having a great day on the net. Put me down for yes. We had a set on the kitchen table, and we had a set of rabbit ears out in the living room. Sometimes with foil, but it was always the kids' responsibility to get up off the couch and make things work. Everyone have a good week ahead. This is KB8PLB, back to net.
All righty, thank you, Chris. Have a great morning. Let's go to KYB, Scott, Memphis, Tennessee. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, everybody on the Brew Crew. There's a little key up there. Sorry to be late getting in here. Thanks for doing the net. Thanks to everybody behind the scenes. Out of Brother Randall and Brother Webb and Collierville. And yes, I do remember those rabbit ears. And we couldn't watch a lot of TV. We actually went out and played and did stuff like that. But anyway, and the test pattern at night when it stopped at midnight on the broadcaster, and that was fun for the young man there that never experienced that. Back to net. 7-3's all. KY4NB. Wet and rainy in Memphis. Land Elvis and barbecues.
All righty. Thank you, Scott. Have a great morning. Thanks for checking in. Let's go to KE6MAE, Larry in Calamasa, California. Good morning.
Certainly do remember rabbit ears back in the 60s. I think one of our apartments, that's all we could have. But yeah, I've been growing up. Oh, yeah, they said on top of we got pretty good. We got television. Boy, that takes back a long memory. Back to that KE6MAE.
All right, thank you, Larry. Yeah, it sure does. Have a great day. A couple more text check-ins. W2PUT, one of the commentators, Dan in Milan. Good morning, Dan.
Hey, good morning, Al, and everybody else out there in Radio Land. Oh, yeah, I remember the rabbit ears. And I still have, I kind of saved it for posterity, my old little, like, dresser top black and white TV that I got for Christmas in the late 70s. Yeah, that had the, well, still has the snap-in rabbit ears with it. The grandkids look at it and they're like, "What on earth?" They can't conceive of such a notion as this black and white TV with this big knob that goes clunk as you turn it. Back to you, W2PUT.
All right, thank you, Dan. Yep, the little black and white ones, and they made quite a noise when you change the channels. Nothing digital about that. Let's go to K4ITA, Leo in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Good morning, Leo.
Good morning, all. Good morning from the beautiful Fort Lauderdale. 76 degrees this morning, a bit of rain and sun today. And yes, I do remember them. Never used them. You had the antenna on the roof, but I'm old enough to remember them. Have everybody a great day. K4ITA.
All righty, thank you, Leo. Have a great day. All right, that takes us down to the bottom of the list. This is Al, KBAC, along with Vicky, KE8BKY. Let's start another list. If you want to get in, come now with your call signs twice and slowly.
Mike Julia, November. Wait. Yeah, and mobile.
Kilo Echo 8, Papa Mike, Kilo Mobile. Kilo Echo 8, Papa Mike, Kilo Mobile.
Whiskey 5, Golf Hotel Romeo. Whiskey 5, Golf Hotel Romeo, mobile.
Whiskey Delta 8, Papa India Charlie. WD8 PIC.
Oscar 4, Golf Zulu, KO4 GGZ.
Kilo Juliet 5, Delta X-Ray Bravo. Kilo Juliet 5, Delta X-Ray Bravo. Quebec 4, November Papa Alpha, Take 4, mobile.
All right, that's a good little list. got quite a few mobiles here. Got KQ4, NPA, Byron, Huntsville, Alabama, he's mobile. W5, GHR, Brian and Katy, Texas is mobile. KE8, PMK, Chuck in Allen Park, Michigan's mobile. And N8, MJN, Marson, Sterling Heights, Michigan's mobile. We'll get to you guys in just a second. We also have KJ5DXB, Frank in Sugar Land, Texas. KC2JPQ, Frank in Lancaster, New York. Checking in via text. David's back with us. KO4GGZ in Archer, Florida. At WD8PIC, Bob in Sylvania. N1CBM Carlos, our aeronautical net controller in Hollywood, Florida. W8WHK Bill in North Fort Myers, Florida. Let's grab our mobile stations. Question of the day, do you remember using rabbit ears on your TV? Let's go to N8MJN. Good morning, Marson.
Hey, good morning, Al, Vicky, and everybody on the Morning Brew. This is N8MJN. Yeah, very much so. I first have to comment on how nice that last list went. I didn't hear a single double on my end. Vicky must have enjoyed that one a little bit. Now, that said, I think I got rid of the rabbit ears at my father-in-law's house probably within the last year. I started using this Air TV box with Sling TV, so I put up an antenna in my attic, and it reports to the box, and then the box streams all the local channels, so I can get free live streaming on my phone or wherever I'm about. So kind of nice little feature. That said, I'll send it back to Net Control. Everybody have a great day. Happy Hump Day. N8MJN 73.
All righty, thanks, Marson. Have a great morning. Drive safe out there. Let's go to KE8 PMK, Chuck in Allen Park. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, Net Control. This is Kilo Echo 8, Papa Mike Kilo. Sorry, my rider is vocalizing a little bit. And yeah, we know what rabbit ears got us set still. I use them on my old Lafayette once in a while to listen to AM radio, believe it or not. And the darn things worked. They worked very well until I put up my wire, an indoor wire that actually also works very well. Well, that's all I say. 73 from Kilo Echo 8, Papa Mike Kilo.
All righty, thank you, Chuck. Have a great morning. Let's go to Brian in Katy, Texas, W5GHR. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I do remember rabbit ears. In fact, I say recently, probably 10 years ago, got rid of them. Imagine instead of rabbit ears sitting on top of a flat screen TV, that was my house for a while. Back to you, Net Control. This is W5GHR.
All righty, thank you, Brian. Have a great morning. Let's jump down to KQ4NPA, Byron in Huntsville, Alabama. Good morning, Byron.
Good morning to you and to all on the Brew this morning. Yes, I do remember rabbit ears. No longer own any. We stream everything now, but we do have one of those little antennas as a backup in case the internet goes down. Hope everyone has a great day. 3 KQ4MPA.
All righty, thanks, Byron. Have a great morning. Hey, let's grab KO4GGZ before David gets away from us again. Good morning, David.
Morning, the Brew crew. Good to hear everybody out there this morning. Got the base station back up and working. So, question, yeah, I remember rabbit ears. I don't know what the digital equivalent is, but I probably got that at this point in time. KO4GGZ.
All righty, thank you, David. I have the digital equipment to rabbit ears. It's basically a black plastic square that suction cups onto a window, and you can get all your digital stations if they're in the area. It works okay-ish at best, but you still get then. All right, let's jump up to the top of the list. W8WHK Bill in North Fort Myers. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning from North Fort Myers. It's 67 degrees and cloudy. Light rain. We had rabbit ears. Yes, I remember rabbit ears a lot.
loading up and changing directions and trying to get the better signal. And we live about a mile from Cleveland Hopkins Airport. And boy, when those big airplanes would fly over, the picture would go sideways and then wiggle, and got a lot of interference and signals bouncing off the airliners and test patterns. And those two. Okay, there's W8, WHK. Today's back net control. Everybody have a great rest of the week.
All righty, thank you, Bill. Have a good morning. Let's go to our aeronautical net controller, Carlos, N1CBM. Good morning.
Good morning now, Vicky and everybody else. It's a mixed morning down here between clouds and blue skies. But the temperature's treating us great down here, 74 degrees and no humidity. Well, at least it's lower humidity than usual. Beers, of course I remember playing with them and upgrading with the tinfoil bow tie for the Saturday morning cartoons. My mom hated that upgrade, so she took it right down after the cartoons were done. I tried to do that on the antenna for the airplane the other day, but somebody told me it wouldn't be a great idea, so I refrained from doing it. N1CBM, back to you, Al.
Yeah, that tinfoil tends to fly off after about 30,000 feet. All right, thanks, Carlos. Have a great day. Let's go down to Sylvania, Ohio, WD8PIC. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, and yes, we had, my parents had rabbit ears on their upstairs television. And I can remember my mom getting all mad because she'd go to adjust the rabbit ears and get them in the perfect spot, and then she'd walk, but with her body there, and then of course she'd walk away, and things would fade, and so I had to show her how you kind of kneel down and just reach up with one arm, so so your whole body isn't there. And she was always amazed, that I could get it to where it wouldn't do that. Oh shucks! I got several over-the-air antennas pointed in different directions perfectly, and then locked down for different over-the-airs, along with some streaming, but has to be free, or because I'm on a limited income. Anyway, back to net control. WD8, and those little antennas like you have in net control are worthless. You got to have a good outside antenna to get or even an inside dipole. Upstairs, I have several dipoles cut for the lowest actual local channel, which here in Toledo is 11, because they're on 11. So you cut the dipole for about 160 or 200 megs, and it works beautiful. Back to net control, WD8, and then get it in the right spot. Take the time to move it around and get it in the right spot. WD8PIC, back to net.
All right, thank you, Bob. Have a great morning, sir. Let's go to KC2, Frank in Lancaster, New York. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Al and Vicky and everybody on the Brew. Yep, I remember the rabbit ear antennas, and my father would say, stand next to the TV. That was the remote control also, and the tin foil, all kinds of contraptions to make better reception. They had a commercial years ago on Blockbuster. They had a guinea pig and a rabbit watching the television through their glass cage enclosure, and the screen started getting fuzzy. So the guinea pig went over there, grabbed the rabbit ears and adjusted it. Then the picture coming clear, but he didn't like the channel, so he hit him on the head and it would change the channel. It's still on YouTube if you want to look it up. But anyhow, everybody have a great day, and KC2 JPQ, back to the net.
All righty, thank you, Frank. Have a great day. Let's go to KJ5DXB, Frank over in Sugar Land, Texas. Good morning.
KJ5DXB. Good morning, Al, Vicky, everybody. Yes, I remember. Thanks for the check-in. Have a great day. KJ5DXB. Back to you, Al.
All right. Thank you, Frank. Have a great day. Looks like we got K2GCP Christopher in Massapequa, New York, checking in. Good morning, Chris.
Hi, good morning to the Brew Crew, K2GCP, Chris from Massapequa, New York. I do remember. It brings back old times. It was either with my grandparents or my dad growing up. So yeah, that was always fun to depend on which station you wanted to watch to arrange them a certain way. Hope everyone else has a good morning and a good Wednesday. And thank you again, K2GCP. Back to net.
All righty. Thanks for checking in. All righty, it's about a quarter till. Let's get another list going. Let's tell you what. Let's do in and outs. In and outs only. Just if you're in and out. If you call in right now, you're just going to be marked in and out. Come with your call signs twice and slowly.
KQ4 VYQ, keep back 4 Victor Yankee, Quebec, in and out.
Mobile, in and out.
Kilo Bravo 5, Zulu Yankee Lima, KB5 ZYL, in and out.
Whiskey Niner, Delta Delta Oscar.
India Tango Golf.
W9,
Kilo Foxtrot
Kilo,
5, India Tango Golf.
Charlie 5, Charlie Pop Oscar. Kilo Charlie 5, Charlie Pop Oscar, in and out.
All righty. We had one in there. Actually, there's a couple of doubles there. I'm going to see what we got. We got SM4XBC, Niles Herrick in Sweden, KC5CPO Dave, Burleson, Texas, W9DDO Lee, Blades, Delaware. We got KB5ZYL Jeff, Montgomery, Texas, N2VLK Jeff, Lancaster, New York, KQ4VYQ James in Huntsville, Alabama. There was one station that was had a 5ITG. If you can come back with your call sign, please. In and out, come with your call sign twice and slowly, please.
Whiskey 6, India Whiskey November, Bobby, Reno, Nevada, W6IW.
Echo 8, Zulu Japan, KE8ZJ.
Kilo 9, Kilo November, Kilo 9, Kilo November.
K4HB.
1 YKT and 1 YKT.
Alrighty, that's a good little list there. The only one we didn't get out of that, there was a KI4H. If you can get your complete call sign in, please. That KI4H call sign only.
For NHP.
Alrighty, we got your KI4NHP. Boyce in Piney Flats, Tennessee. We got N1K or YKT, Johnny Hopkinsville, Kentucky. K9KKN, Kenneth, Freeport, Illinois. We got KE8ZJ, Bob, Maumee, Ohio. W6IWN, Bobby in Reno, Nevada. All in and outs. Guys, thanks for checking in and getting on the log, and have a great day. We just had KF8 DJQ Kevin in Bowling Green, Ohio, check in via text. We got about 10 minutes. Let's get another regular check-in. Regular check-ins only. Anywhere, come with your call sign.
Whiskey Brew 2, Golf Lima Whiskey. Golf Lima Whiskey.
Kilo Bravo 5, Sierra Alpha Victor. Kilo Bravo 5, Sierra Alpha Victor. In and out. Good morning, y'all.
KD2 VNU, KD2 VNU.
1WSN, KC1WSN.
All right, that looks like a pretty good little list there. From the bottom up, we had KC1WSN, Tim in Winter Harbor, Maine. We had Derby Dan, one of our facilities, KD2 VNU, Derby, New York. KB5SAB, Jason, St. Amant, Louisiana. He was in and out. Good morning, Jason. Hope you have a great day, sir. We had WB2 GLW, Mike, Lake Ronkonkoma, New York, who before I even began talking to Mike, I had no idea there was such a thing as Lake Ronkonkoma, New York. We had Chuck, W2EM, and at the top of this list, KF8, DJQ, Kevin, Bowling Green, Ohio. Question of the day: do you remember using rabbit ears on your TV or radio, actually? KF8, DJQ. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Al. Good morning, Vicki. Everyone on the net. Yes, and somewhere along the line we had a fancy set-top box that had the rabbit ears and the UHF loop attached to it and some dial on the front that really didn't seem to do anything. So, yes, I do remember. Back to net.
All righty, thank you, Kevin. So I'm not the only one that wonders what that dial was for. Never made any difference, no matter what I did. Let's go to Chuck in Lancaster, W2EM. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, Al, and the rest of the Brew crew here. Vicky, too. I know she's back there logging hard. Yeah, rabbit ears, oh, yeah. Back in the day, sometimes people put tinfoil on them, thought it might help things a bit. And as a matter of fact, I'm actually using rabbit ears right now on my TV. I got rid of my cable, and I had put rabbit ears on it. Well, not actually rabbit ears, it's a bar, but it's the same thing as rabbit ears. And I'm getting like 45 local stations, and I stream all the rest of my stuff, so that's been working out really good. So anyway, back to net, W2EM.
All righty, thank you, Chuck. Have a good morning. Let's go to WB2 GLW, Mike, Lake Ronkonkoma, New York. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Ned. Yes, I remember rabbit ears. I remember a set-top box with Channel Master with various bunch of knobs, coil taps, and that knob that didn't do anything, and you waved the rabbit ears around. So, yep, Channel Master set-top box. Worked real well. It was a good predictor of DX, too. When Channel 2 came herringboned on Channel 2, you had a good chance that DX is coming in. WB2GLW.
All righty, thank you, Mike. Have a great day. Let's go to one of our facilitators, KD2, Derby Dan. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I remember many versions of the rabbit ears with the knob, without, etc., with loops. So I'll return it back to net and wish everybody a good morning. KD2BU.
All righty, thank you, Dan. Have a great morning. Let's go to KC1WSN. Tim in Winter Harbor, Maine. Good morning. KC1WSN, you still with us? All right, here, nothing. We'll mark them in and out. We got one late text check-in here into WXD. Craig in Riverview, Michigan. Good morning, Craig.
Into WXD. Good morning to all on the Brew crew, and Al and Vicky and Dick. Yes, I remember rabbit ears. I remember having to stand and hold one of the rabbit ears to increase our reception of a TV station. Couldn't move until the program was over. It was terrible. Back to that, N2WXD.
All righty, thank you, Craig.
All righty, thank you, Craig.
There we go. There we go. All right, now, looks like Jack has found the text line. KF8, Detroit Rock City. Good morning, Jack. Do you remember using rabbit ears on your TV?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yes, I used to do that, and I used to put foil on top. That way you can watch good TV. And I always watch John Wayne and the Brady Bunch. And that's all I have for today. Everyone have a good day. KF8, Detroit Rock City.
All righty, thank you, Jack. Have a great morning, sir. We got about 3 minutes. Let's take 4 or 5 more check-ins. If you want to get in, last minute, company call sign, twice and slowly.
Kilo Bravo 5 of Victor Alpha Oscar. W2 BLT. Whiskey 8 Bravo Papa Delta. W8 BPD in and out.
All righty. Looks like we got W8 BPD. Brian in Warren, Michigan. He was in and out. We got W2 BLT, one of our hosts here on the Morning Brew, Scott in Buffalo, New York, on the East Coast Reflector team. And we got KB5 VAO David in Lubbock, Texas. Just a reminder, question of the day. Do you remember using rabbit ears? KB5 VAO David in Lubbock, Texas. Good morning.
Good morning to everybody on the Brew. I remember using them. I'm still using them here for the local TV anyway, and stream some other stuff. So yes, I do remember rabbit ears.
All righty, thank you, David. We got you down as a yes. Have a great morning over there. Finally wrapping up this version of the Morning Brew, we got Scott, one of your hosts here on the Morning Brew Net, W2BLT. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, good morning, Al and everybody. Better late than never, I guess. Yeah, I remember rabbit ears. In fact, I was married before I ever had cable. With that, everyone have a good day. This is W2BLT.
All righty, thank you, Scott. Have a great morning. And, yeah, I think I got cable at 15 years old, and it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen in my life. All right, well, this is Al, KABAC, along with Vicky, KABKY, Dick, WB2JPQ. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for checking in on the Morning Brew, and we will see you back here tomorrow morning. Be there, be there. And we now return the East Coast Reflector to normal amateur radio use. 73s, everybody.